Hey, kia ora. Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2253. Community weaving is tonight's topic, and that is part of our Threads That Bind volume 23. Yeah, Threads That Bind and community weaving. Okay, got the names right. We're good. All right. So I have to tell you a funny story today. This was actually pretty cool. So I got up early, and I was down at the supermarket like 7 o'clock this morning, because for the next 2 days I'm going to be very busy, and so I wanted to make sure, and it leads into the weekend where I'm going to be extremely busy, and so I want to make sure that I had, excuse me, things that were quick to grab and eat and prepare and that sort of stuff. And so I went in and I had kind of gone through my list, and I had clipped all the electronic coupons that I had, got stuff that was on sale, and they had items there that were sort of like, these items are on sale, but if you buy 5, you get $1 off each item. So like, I'll take that deal any day. So I didn't load up the cart, but I did get what I needed. I didn't go, because the problem I'm having right now is that it's starting to get close to where I have to start thinking about moving and all that sort of stuff, all the moving stuff that's going on and everything else. And what can I keep in the house, and what can I, things to get rid of, like especially with condiments. I mean, condiments seem to last forever. And if I buy a new bottle of condiment, I'm still going to have some left when it comes to, so I want to have as little as possible when it comes to condiments to toss out at the end before I move out of the house. So anyway, I go to the checkout thing, and there's this couple in front of me, and he's putting up like 5 boxes of Whoppers, 5 boxes of, what was it? Oh, there was different candies that he's putting up like 5 of, and he had them all very straight and very nicely neat and tidy on the conveyor belt. And his wife was ahead of him, and she had a composition book, and it had all these items just crossed off. And when it came to checkout, it cost them, they had like a huge shopping cart full of groceries, huge. And he gets up, he finally gets up there, and first of all, he puts the divider thing back and says, "Oh, your turn to load up." And I went, "Got it. Thank you." And so I started loading up all my cold stuff first, like I normally do. And I put my bags on top, because I don't like taking home plastic bags. And we get up the front there, and I'm sort of like standing just behind him at the checkout there, because I've still got my cart here because I've floated everything in. And he goes, "Oh, she gave you all," and he says to the checkout lady, he says, "She gave you all the coupons, right?" And she's like, "Yep, she did." And so it was all of their digital coupon, and of course they put their number in, because then it activates all of their digital coupons and the sales stuff and everything else. And you start seeing on the screen it going after they had entered the number, and she'd done all the coupons and everything. And these were not extreme couponers, by the way. The stuff they had got was buy 5, get $1 off each. And most of the stuff was on sale that they had in their cart, because I had seen it as I was walking around. And he looks over and he goes, "Well, how much is it?" And she goes, $37. And he goes, "And that's without discount as well?" And I'm sort of like, "Discount? They get a discount? Okay." And she goes, "Oh, yeah, that's your senior discount included." And he leans over and he says, "They always have senior discount days on today." Like, he says, once a week they do a senior discount day. It's today. And I went, "Good to know. Thank you." Well, I didn't think I was a senior yet. But given the look with this color hair, when I got up there, they scanned everything of mine. They, I put my number in, all my digital coupons took over, all the sale items started going as she was scanning. She goes, "I really don't like it when it does it like this." And I go, "Do what?" And she goes, "Look, it's got sale SC, which meant sale coupon, because I'd already put my number in." She says, "I like it at the end when it just goes and gives you a total." And I said, "Give it a chance." And so she gets to the end and gets everything scanned, because some of it won't scan until it knows all the numbers. So she gets to the end, she hits the button, and it goes, and it dropped from like $220 down to 180 something. I was like, well, that's a good saving. She says, hang on. She said, I have to scan this code here for you. And so it took them 10 minutes to find a code that worked, but it was the senior discount code, 10% off. And I go, well, I'm so glad I came in here on a Tuesday. I said, I don't normally come in on a Tuesday. She goes, it's Wednesday. I says, that's probably why I'm confused. But at this particular supermarket on Wednesdays, they do a 10% discount for seniors, and they scan the code after you've checked through and all that. It took me down to 162. I ended up saving $62 on my groceries just by using my coupons and getting my sales stuff and stuff. So I have a nice full refrigerator right now, so it's and freezer, and feels kind of good when that happens, and you look at it and go, I got all that on sale. But they had a much bigger list, much bigger thing and everything else. And she had some paper coupons that she had clipped out from the junk mail that comes through. I have no idea what's in my mailbox. I get those too. I just don't look at them because most of the coupons that come through are for stuff that I just don't use. So anyway, that was my quick story on that. So I saved $62 today and found out that Wednesday is 10% discount day, which would have explained the cloud of silver that was walking around the supermarket this morning. I just thought they were just out because it's early in the morning, great time to get into the supermarket. They're just open, they're just restock stuff. Just a great time to get in and get out of the supermarket. But no, the Silver Club goes there for a reason. The Silver Hair Club goes there for a reason, because it's a 10% discount day. But I was home by 8:50. I got home at 8:15. Left here at what time did I leave here? 7. Yes, I was only gone an hour and 5 minutes. I felt like I'd been gone for hours, but no, hour and 5 minutes I'd been gone from when I left here to when I got home again. So it was pretty cool. So anyway, tonight we're talking about community weaving. I love stories. So communities are like woven fabrics, each person a thread bringing color, texture, and strength. On their own, threads are fragile, but together they create something enduring and beautiful. Community weaving is about showing up, leaning in, and offering what we can, so that the whole tapestry becomes stronger. Now, there's probably been several of these done. There's one that I saw one time on a video in this town. They had set up this experiment in the local community park where they had a pole in the middle, and there were all of these threads hanging from this. I think it was all these threads hanging from a pole. Or maybe they had to pick up a piece of it. Anyway, there were all these threads. And what they were doing is that in the circle around the center pole, they had all of these different jobs, hobbies, interests, thoughts, and that sort of thing. And basically what you did is you picked up a thread and you walked over to a thread that applied to you, and you wound the thread around it, and then you walked over to the next one that applied to you, and you basically just took this thread and just followed it around to a whole. They ended up creating this incredible piece of art in one day of just all of these hundreds of people that went down to the park, picked up the threads, and not only did they have this incredible piece of art, but as people were winding things around the stakes and stuff so it would hold there to then move on to the next one, is that other people would be waiting as well, and they'd start conversations. People would stand and talk to each other. So like, when did we lose the art of having a conversation, sitting and talking with other people? And they said after they had finished all the things, and some people kept bumping into the same people at different points throughout this thing, and I don't remember how many things that they had up. But other people, when they finished putting all their threads up, they would stand off to the side watching other people do their stuff as well, but having conversations with people in their community. I thought, what a great community thing that was to do. So they were literally taking yarn, and there was different colored yarn, so you could choose whatever color yarn you wanted to pick, and they ended up making this beautiful woven tapestry. Oh, that is so cool. And I totally forgot to go and find the video to it or the photographs of it, but it's a really cool thing where the community came together to create this piece of art, and then they did something that you don't typically see today, is that they stopped and talked to other people, strangers that they hadn't met, or strangers that they didn't know but had a similar interest in things that they did and stuff. It was pretty cool. I thought that was wonderful. something that we totally lack these days. What it teaches us is that true community is not built in isolation, but in the weaving together of lives, which is exactly what this exercise did. Each person carries a unique role that strengthens the whole. When one thread is frayed, others hold that fabric steady. The act of weaving requires patience, presence, and care. And what happens when we take time to notice the gifts others bring? Communities step in during times of need to lift and support. Shared experiences bind us closer together. We realize that the tapestry of community includes both bright and dark threads, each contributing to the picture. Remember, I said they could pick whichever colors they wanted. How we carry forward is that we show up consistently, even in small ways, for those around you. Share your story and invite others to share theirs, deepening the weave. And this is when the community came together at the end, and people, once they'd put all their threads up, instead of just walking away, they were hanging out talking to people. And they were sharing their stories about their interests, their hobbies, and whatever the plaques up that they had there. Celebrate the beauty and the diversity within your community. Remember that communities grow stronger through connection, not perfection. In our legacy connection, the weaving we participate in today will be inherited by others. Every kindness, every shared laugh, every supportive gesture becomes just part of the fabric of the community that future generations will stand upon. Think about that. There used to be a lot of community events back when I was growing. And the thing is that back in the days, and we're talking back in the 1800s, 1700s, into the 1900s and things, the pub or the tavern was your local community center. They didn't have a separate community hall. Everything was done at the pub. The pub could double as the church. It could double as the school, depending on the size of the community. There were some that were converted to schools during the day. Others that were converted to churches on Sunday, and they'd have their Sunday services in there. But the pub or the tavern became the hub of the community where everybody would go and meet. That's where you would go and get the latest gossip and find out what the latest news / gossip, and find out what was going on. So the pub and the taverns in back in the early 1900s, the 1800s, the 1700s, the 1600s was a very important community place. We kind of have lost that along the way. Some places are small enough that they still have like a community. They have like one pub in town, and up until a certain time, children are allowed in there. But then after a certain time, it's adults only. There are places around that still have that because they want that family feel. They want that community there. And that's like the center place for that community. And it's just really great. And they'll plan picnics out front of, out the back of the pub or the tavern where they've got some green grass area and stuff. They'll plan community events out there. So in most places they have a hub. Nowadays, some people have community centers, but they don't get used as much as what they used to get used as. Some places get used a very lot. Other places it's minimal usage. But, come together as a community. It's time to come together as a communities again and start just reaching out to other people. And don't judge anybody by their looks, by their skin color, by their religion, by their political beliefs or anything like that. Treat them like human beings and have fun together. Do that exercise where you have all those threads there and you're finding out how, who has what in common and things like that. You'd be surprised. It's just, I love community. I love attending community events and things. Let's see. Our 4 reflection questions for you tonight. Number 1, where in your life do you see the strength of community showing up? Number 2, what role do you naturally play in the weaving of your community? Number 3, how has community support carried you during times of need? And number 4, what is one way you can strengthen the fabric of community around you this week? And in closing, the beauty of community lies not in flawless threads, but in the weaving together. As we offer our presence and our gifts, the fabric becomes stronger, more vibrant, and more enduring. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.